So, it happened. Maybe it was a text. Maybe it was a coffee shop conversation that lasted 8 minutes. Maybe she just stopped responding. And now you're sitting there, single again, scrolling through her Instagram at 2 a.m., wondering what you did wrong, wondering if you could have said something different, wondering if you'll ever feel normal again. Here's what the internet will tell you. Stay stoic, king. She wasn't worth it. Hit the gym. Focus on your grind. And look, I'm not saying the gym is bad, but if that's your understanding of stoicism, you're getting the Cliff's Notes of philosophy that's been around for 2,300 years, written by some of the most thoughtful people in human history. Today, we're going deeper. We're talking about how actual stoicism, not the social media version, gives you a framework to handle what might be one of the hardest experiences you'll face in your 20s. A cold breakup. The kind where there's no closure, no dramatic fight, just silence. I'm going to show you how the ancient Stoics, guys like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca, built a system for dealing with loss, rejection, and the things we can't control. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a philosophical roadmap that goes way beyond just get over it. Let's get into it. First, let's clear something up. When most people hear Stoicism, they think it means being emotionless, stone-faced, unaffected, the guy who gets dumped and just shrugs and goes back to his spreadsheet. That's not Stoicism. That's repression. And the ancient Stoics would have called that out immediately. Real Stoicism isn't about not feeling. It's about not being ruled by feelings. It's about understanding which emotions are rational responses to reality, and which ones are stories we're telling ourselves that make everything worse. So when you get hit with a cold breakup, when she ended over text, or ghosts you, or gives you the "I just need space" line, and you never hear from her again, you're going to feel something. Hurt, confusion, anger. That's human. The Stoics didn't deny that. What they denied was the idea that you're helpless in the face of those feelings, that you have to spiral, that you have to refresh her social media 40 times a day, that you have to text your boys at 3 a.m. asking if they think she's seeing someone else. The Stoics said, asterisk, you have more control than you think, but you need a system, asterisk, and that system isn't just ethics. It's not just be a good guy and everything will work out. Stoicism is a 3-part framework: physics, logic, and ethics. And if you skip the first 2, you're just getting motivational quotes. You're not getting the philosophy. Let me show you what I mean. Let's start with physics. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm nursing a broken heart here. Why are we talking about physics? Stay with me. For the Stoics, physics wasn't just about atoms and molecules. It was about the nature of reality. They believed the universe was governed by something they called logos, a rational, organizing principle. You can think of it like the operating system of existence. Everything that happens according to this rational structure. There's cause and effect. There's order. And here's the key. You're part of that order. You're not separate from the universe. You're a piece of it. Your breakup, it's part of the natural unfolding of events. It's part of the logos. Now, I'm not saying everything happened for a reason in some mystical, greeting card way. I'm saying this was always going to happen, given her feelings, given your relationship dynamics, given timing and circumstance and 1,000 other variables you couldn't see. This outcome was baked into reality. The Stoics would say, asterisk, you're fighting against nature when you say, this shouldn't have happened. Asterisk, because it did happen. It's already part of the fabric of the universe. Epictetus put it bluntly, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. That's not passivity. That's not giving up. That's accepting reality so you can actually respond to it instead of wasting energy arguing with what's already done. Think of it this way. She broke up with you. That's a fact. That's physics. You can spend 6 months asking why and what if, or you can start from this is what is and build from there. The Stoics call this living in accordance with nature, and it's the foundation of everything else. All right, so you've accepted the breakup is real. It happened. It's part of the natural order. Now what? This is where logic comes in. And the Stoics had a perfect metaphor for it. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, used to demonstrate logic using his hand. He'd hold out his open palm and say, This is impression. That's the raw data. The fact that she broke up with you. The fact that she's not texting back. The fact that you saw her with someone else at the bar. Then he'd curl his fingers slightly and say, this is assent. That's when you agree with an impression. When you take it in and say, yes, this is true. Then he'd close his fist completely and say, this is comprehension. That's when you fully grasp something. When you understand it clearly without distortion. And finally, he'd take his other hand and grip his closed fist tightly and say, this is knowledge. That's when you have an unshakable grasp on reality. When nothing can shake your understanding. Now here's where it matters for your breakup. Most guys get stuck at assent. They agree that the breakup happened, but then they start adding stuff. They start telling themselves stories. She left because I'm not good enough. I'll never find someone like her again. I wasted 2 years of my life. Everyone else is moving forward except me. Those aren't impressions. Those are judgments. And most of them, they're false. Logic, Stoic logic, teaches you to separate the facts from the stories. To ask yourself, asterisk, what do I actually know? What's just my fear talking? What's just my ego trying to protect itself? Asterisk, here's the truth. She left. Fact, she left because you're worthless? Story, you'll never find love again. Story, you're falling behind. Story, the Stoics were obsessed with this distinction because they knew most of our suffering comes from the stories, not the facts. So here's your practice. Every time you feel that tightness in your chest, that spiral starting, ask yourself, what's the actual impression here? What's the fact? And what's the story I'm adding? That's how you get a grip on reality. That's the fence that protects you from being swept away by every emotional wave that comes through. Okay, you've accepted the breakup as part of nature. You've learned to separate facts from stories. Now we get to the part everyone thinks is Stoicism, ethics, how to live, how to act, how to be in the aftermath. And the Stoics had a very specific answer. Virtue, not virtue in the preachy. Be a good boy sense. Virtue in the sense of excellence. The Greek word is arete. It means living up to your potential as a rational human being. The Stoics identified 4 core virtues. And if you want to handle this breakup with dignity, with strength, with actual wisdom, not just Instagram captions, you need to understand all 4. First, prudence, practical wisdom, knowing what's good, what's bad, and what's neither, knowing when to act and when to let go. In a breakup, prudence means, asterisk, don't text her at 2 a.m. Don't show up at her place. Don't try to fix it by saying the perfect thing. Asterisk prudence means seeing the situation clearly and choosing the action that serves your long-term well-being, not your short-term desperation. Second, justice, treating others and yourself fairly, giving what's due. In a breakup, justice means, asterisk, don't trash her to your friends. Don't post cryptic Instagram stories. Don't turn her into a villain in your head. Asterisk, she made a choice. Maybe it hurt you, but that doesn't mean she's evil. Justice also means, don't trash yourself. Don't punish yourself for being human, for being vulnerable, for wanting connection. Third, temperance, self-control, moderation, not being ruled by impulses. In a breakup, temperance means, don't numb the pain with alcohol, with revenge hookups, with 80-hour work weeks. Feel what you feel, but don't let it hijack your life. Temperance is saying, I'm hurting, and I'm going to sit with this without doing something stupid. Fourth, courage. Not just physical bravery, but moral courage. The willingness to face reality, to endure difficulty, to keep going when it's hard. In a breakup, courage means, asterisk, you can get back out there. You're going to risk being hurt again. You're going to let yourself be seen, be vulnerable, be human. Asterisk courage is the opposite of shutting down. It's staying open to life even when life has hurt you. These 4 virtues are your compass. They're not a checklist. They're a way of being. And the Stoics said, asterisk, if you live according to these, nothing can truly harm you, because you'll always be acting in accordance with your nature as a rational, dignified human being, asterisk. And here's the thing they understood. You can't control whether she comes back. You can't control whether people think you're a failure for being single. You can't control whether the next relationship works out. but you can control whether you act with prudence, justice, temperance, and courage. That's always up to you. Always. All right, let's bring this home with the most practical tool Stoicism has to offer: the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, who started as a slave and became one of the most influential philosophers in history, said it better than anyone. Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. That's it. That's the whole framework. And if you can internalize this, really live it, you'll save yourself years of suffering. Here's what's up to you: your judgments, your desires and aversions, your choices, your effort, your character. Here's what's not up to you: her feelings, whether she comes back, what your friends think, whether you find someone better, timing, circumstances, other people's choices. Most guys in a breakup waste 90% of their energy on the second list. They ruminate on what she's thinking. They obsess over whether they could have said something different. They torture themselves about the future they'll never have. And the Stoics would say, you're spending your life trying to control the wind. What you can control right now, today, is this: your judgment about the breakup. Is it a tragedy, or is it a redirection? Is it proof you're unlovable, or is it proof you were willing to be vulnerable? Your desires. Do you need her back to be okay? Or can you want connection without being enslaved to the specific outcome? Your actions. Are you going to spend the next month stalking her social media and spiraling? Or are you going to show up for your life, your work, your friends, your health, with integrity? Your character. Are you going to let this breakup make you bitter, closed off, cynical? Or are you going to let it make you wiser, more compassionate, more resilient? That's what's up to you. That's your domain. And the Stoics would say, if you focus all your energy there, you'll be unshakable. Seneca wrote, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. This breakup, it's friction. It's the trial. And you get to choose whether it polishes you or breaks you. Before we wrap up, I want to talk about one more concept: the Stoic sage. The sage is the ideal Stoic, the person who has perfect judgment, perfect virtue, complete emotional mastery, someone who never makes a mistake, never gets swept away by passion, never acts against reason. And here's the thing: the Stoics admitted this person probably doesn't exist. So why talk about it? Because the sage isn't a person you're supposed to be. It's a standard you're supposed to aim for. It's a North Star. When you're lost, when you don't know what to do, you ask, what would the sage do? So right now, in the aftermath of your cold breakup, ask yourself, would the sage send that angry text? No. Would the sage blame himself for things he can't control? No. Would the sage shut down and swear off love forever? No. Would the sage act with dignity, compassion, and courage even when it's hard? Yes. You're not going to be perfect. You're going to have bad days. You're going to check her Instagram. You're going to feel that ache in your chest at random moments. But every time you catch yourself, every time you choose a virtuous path, even when it's painful, you're moving toward the sage. You're becoming more of who you're capable of being. And that's what Stoicism is really about. Not being unaffected, not pretending you don't hurt, but becoming someone who can handle life's hardest moments with wisdom and grace. So here's where we are. Stoicism isn't about staying hard, or suppressing your feelings, or pretending you don't care. It's a system, physics, logic, and ethics, that teaches you how to live in alignment with reality, how to think clearly, and how to act with virtue when you're dealing with a cold breakup. Here's what that looks like. Physics *, accept that this happened. It's part of the natural order.